We're here in France. We're here amongst a bunch of kind and extraordinarily wealthy Swiss people, as well as some 17-year-old ecom kids making over $100,000 a month.
I mean, you saw my group of friends this week. Everybody's balling in different niches, and that's what it's all about. It's finding those people that synergize in different spots and different kind of ecosystems and come together and just level up, bro.
Yeah, but let me tell you something. You and I and the rest of the people that we're here with are very different than a lot of the people who live in Zermatt. We're in Zermatt, by the way. Notably by age, right? All of us are in our early 20s or even some of us late teens. So I'll start by asking you, how are we here?
We're here because we chose to be here. Everything in life is a choice. Everything that you do is, whether you believe it or not, what you want to do. And what most people don't realize is that what they want to do isn't truly what they want to do, is what they've been programmed to do. So shooting a podcast 14,000 feet in the air, we do it because we fucking want to, not because we have to, not because it's ROI positive. It's just fun. We're glitching through the matrix, we're having fun, and it's because we understand that we're autonomous individuals that can actually have decision-making power over our lives, and that we can live the life that we desire to live if we put in the work, we make the plan, and we are truly intentional about the outcome that we want. Most people don't even know what they're gonna do tomorrow. They have no plan, no schedule, no orientation. You think about snowboarding, it's like, you know the route you want to take. You know, hey, I'm gonna go this way. You overview it, you look at the map, it says, hey, be careful, take some precautions. And you analyze the terrain before you go into it. And people don't do any analysis. They don't do anything, any sort of research about life, what's actually out there. And when you start realizing what's actually out there, like this, you're like, oh dang, I'm not bound to my cubicle. I'm not bound to the Excel sheets. I'm not bound to the fluorescent light bulbs or to the opinions of my parents or to the opinions of my teachers. I can do whatever the fuck I want to do. And freedom, obviously, comes with financial freedom. And that was kind of what has allowed us to be here, is making money.
Bro, and I literally glitched here, bro.
For sure, bro. You spawned.
I spawned here. I woke up 4 days ago in Texas. I got out of my bed. I transferred a couple little imaginary numbers from my banking app, and I got on a tin can and teleported to Geneva, Switzerland. Yeah. Insane. And let me tell you, what's even crazier is 12 months before that, I was living in a ratty-ass apartment with black mold in my ceiling that they wouldn't even come fix in my fucking apartment, and my net worth was like $9,000, bro. And that's why I don't give a fuck what anyone says on the internet and the TikTok comments. When you talk about on the podcast with, I was either Brett or Sebastian, you said broke is not a condition of the pocket, it's a condition of the mind. I know that shit to be true, but not everybody watching this video knows that to be true. So what does that mean? A condition of the mind.
So you need to understand that there's the ruling class and there's the working class. Both of these systems receive vastly different life experiences, and it all starts from birth. Do you think that billionaires are gonna give kids public school education? You think they're gonna set them up to lose? The public school system, for example, which is where parents throw their children at the age of 6, right, to be taught up and raised by the government, they begin to realize that, you know, maybe public school isn't the best thing. So I'm gonna teach and train my own kids. I'm gonna put them in private school. What does Elon Musk do? I'm gonna build my own school. He builds his own school. So he realizes that the education and the information that people are receiving is flawed. So in order to establish a good worldview, you need the right information. And the problem is, you don't know what you don't know. And unless you know information that is not readily available, you're not gonna be able to tap into the non-readily available things in life, like wealth, like access, like networks. So you need extraordinary information in order to achieve extraordinary results in your life. You can't have ordinary information that the average peasant has and expect an extraordinary life. It doesn't work that way. So the reason we make it to places like this, brother, is because we've conditioned our mind to not think like a broke individual, but to think in abundance. The world around you is vast, but your options are so limited in your mind because your information is limited. So your job is to go collect data sets that are going to broaden your mind, different worldviews, different perspectives, not an echo chamber of the same thoughts that you have. So many people get into like their little group and community that validates who they are, that validates their lifestyle, that validates their person. Absolutely, it feels good, but it comes at a price. And you either are going to pay the price of regret or you're going to pay the price of discipline. And what is that price? That price is suffering. That price is discipline, and it is required in life. And it's not going to come from living a life that is by chance. It needs to be by design. So a life by design also is education by design. So the question is, what are you educating yourself with by design? Right? So for example, right now, I'm studying the Bill of Rights. Why?
He's not lying.
Like, why am I studying the Bill of Rights? Because I need to know what my rights are. When a police officer stops me, how do I know if he's telling me the truth? How do I know that he's imparting justice the right way? I don't unless I know my Bill of Rights. So all these people out here reading all these money books, but they don't even know their fundamental rights.
Bro, and you know,
it's crazy.
And you know also that all of the financial systems that, I live in America, so I'll use USA as a reference point, that run the United States, we're just being short on the way over, are designed to take advantage of ignorance. And the information lives out there, but people don't seek it out.
It has to live there on purpose.
Yes.
Right? Because the glitch has to exist because it's created by people. So you have a glitch, like a money glitch. For example, what would a money glitch be right now? The fractional reserve banking system. That's a glitch where I put in $100,000 deposit, right, into the bank. That money no longer belongs to me. And there's proof of funds there. That's what you see in the bank account. That's proof of funds. That doesn't mean the money's yours. And what does the bank do? They fractionalize it 9 times. Now they have $1 million, right, off of the 100,000 that you have. And they go and lend you that money for the mortgage that you put that deposit down for to fractionalize more money. So there's so many glitches in the system that you start realizing that what you've been told is a lie. And the reason it's a lie is because they don't want the top to be crowded. That's why it's only us up here, brother.
Brother, here's the important conversation to have, because when we shoot these videos, bro, I can see the comments, right? I can, before they happen, I can see the comments. And the important conversation to have is for the individuals, because I want to address them directly.
Yeah.
Fuck what I don't reply to comments. I want to address them directly. The comments that are like, oh, well, that's, you know, it's easy for you to say it's a condition of the mind because you have money. The important conversation I believe to have, because this is supposed to, I want this to help people, bro, is if you are somebody who is actually, I won't even say without resources, I will say believes they're without resources. That's step one. What is the, like, how do I go from 0 to 1? Do you know what I mean? Like, how do I seek this information? What can I do if I'm one of these that swears that it's all a rigged game? You know what I mean?
You can't. If you think it's a rigged game, you've lost. The problem is you think it's a rigged game against you because you think that you're special. It's a rigged game, period, by the rule makers. Your job is to exploit the rigged game, not complain about it like a pussy-ass bitch.
Okay, so it's in the mind. So we agree, right, that it's in the mind, right?
Absolutely, brother. If you don't believe, you cannot achieve. It starts in the mind, because everything that you conceive into reality begins here. The fact that you want it to be here right now is because it was conceived in the mind, it was birthed here, or it was received here. So people have all this static in their head, information, TikTok, music, bullshit, fluoride, genetically modified foods, bad frequencies, 5G, and their mind is cluttered with so much noise, right, that they cannot listen. They cannot listen to truth. They cannot identify glitches in the matrix and in the system. So they see no opportunity, but that doesn't mean that the opportunity is not there. It means that they have not developed the spiritual or the business eyes to capture the opportunity, because it requires special eyes to see opportunity. That requires positivity, that requires hope, that requires small wins that give you the confidence to actually go get a bigger win. Like if you're shredding the slopes, you don't start at a double black diamond. You start in the blues and you're like, I'm gonna gain confidence. So what are the small things in your life that you can gain confidence in that'll then propel you to the next level? The problem is you don't trust yourself, because you say you're gonna do something and you don't do it. So how are you gonna trust yourself to actually do something else? You're not. So in your subconscious mind, you've already lost. So if you see no opportunity, there will be no opportunity. Him that sees opportunity, her that sees opportunity, they will be the ones that capture it. And Steve Jobs said it best. You know, he says, people don't know what they want unless you give it to them. So if you want to build a product in the marketplace, identify, use your fucking head, think, reason, elevate, and understand what the market needs, the value that you can provide. And if you don't have the skills to provide that value, develop the skills. Be unmatched in that skill set, and you will carve a space for yourself in the marketplace. You can make $10,000 a month, brother. Like, there's nothing holding you back except this. And if anybody tells me that you cannot make either physically, digitally, $10,000 a month, it's a lie. You don't need a college education. You don't need a university education. You don't need a high school education in order to make money, because what is money? Money is just energy. Energy transfers. What transfers? Human energy. Human resources. The name of the department exists for a reason. They call it human capital for a reason. Why? Because you are a resource. The money represents the expendable energy of people. Why? So your job is to use that money to build things, and you pay people for their energy. That's what you're doing. You're not paying them for their time, you're paying them for their energy output. So when people are like, oh, what skill sets, what resources do I have? You have two things in life. The first thing is energy. The second thing that you have is time. That's the only two things that you truly have, energy and time. So the question is, what are you doing with your energy? Where are you inputting your energy? And what are you doing with that time? What you do with those things will dictate the outcome of your life.
And you know what, bro?
You don't need money. You need energy and time. That's it.
And you know what, bro? And we've talked about this because the title of the last podcast was Escape the Matrix and Get Rich. The money matrix is infinite as long as you let it go on. I know this because from my personal life.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. I promise you, I know this to be true. There are people that are watching this video that will make $1 million this year.
100%.
And that means if you're watching this video, you have to figure out which one of those two buckets you fall
And there
into.
are people right now watching this video that have made $1 million that once in their life didn't believe that $1 million was possible till they made it. Like you and I.
And then, but this is what I'm saying. But once you make that, bro,
100%.
The money matrix doesn't end. It's an infinite. It's infinite as long as you let it last.
It's infinite because it's based on numbers. Money is just a metric, right? It's just a metric. It's just numbers on a screen. How many numbers are there? Infinite. So if your validation, your success, your identity is based on numbers, then it's never ending. There's always another number to chase. So yeah, bro, people got to start fucking waking up.